Sometimes composers just get lucky. Sometimes they get lucky very often. And sometimes rather unknown composers write scores that just go through the damn roof. And Transformers is definitely one of those. What can you expect out of this video? I want to break down Arrival to Earth from Transformers and explain to you why it sounds so amazing. And to be honest, the answer is pretty simple. Most people are just not aware of this fundamental aspect of writing music. There's one word I want you to remember throughout this video and for the rest of your life making music, and this is structure or pattern. What exactly I mean by that, you will see by the end of the video. That's just so amazing. We start in C minor. And our next chord is directly E flat major, the relative major key, so we already switch keys. It sounds quite far away, and it kinda is, but we still have the exact same accidentals. Now comes the interesting part about the melody. Until it repeats itself, it just uses a simple model to go back from E flat major to C minor. And this is a sequence made out of ascending fifth. E flat major, B flat major, F minor, C minor. Your question now, that's pretty nice, but what does it mean and why is this so special? We have E flat major, B flat major, F minor and C minor. You could argue that those chords are just the scale degrees 3, 7, 4 and 1. But that's not what you hear. You do not hear C minor all the time. You hear the structure of fifth. I don't think you can even say exactly in what key we are. Of course the melody is in C minor, but at that specific part we don't know exactly. The good thing, it doesn't matter in what key we are at what time. What is way more important is the fact that there's repetition. And because of this repetition, our ear has the possibility to attach itself somewhere. And this is also the reason why we enjoy music in general. What I want to say is, forget the question of, are we in this key or we're in this key? No, it doesn't matter. This is just a piece of structure that we're currently in. It's a bit like in Star Wars, when they enter hyperspace. It doesn't matter what was before or what comes after. This is a segment for itself. Interestingly enough, there are no notes outside of the current scale. Even with the ascending fifth sequence, we just play notes from C minor. Now we're getting deeper down the rabbit hole of music theory. Listen to this and pay attention to the harmonies we go through. Maybe you have realized it already. There's again a certain pattern, a structure. This goes back to the parallelism. It looks like this. It's called parallelism because of the parallel thirds or sixth. The pattern goes as follows. You start with C minor. You go major second down to B flat major, and then a perfect fourth up to E flat major. Then again a major second down to D flat major, perfect fourth up again. In this case it's F sharp minor. Our ears do not separate between augmented third or perfect fourth. Then you just repeat this for as long as you wish. When we finally reach E major, we change the pattern. We go to C sharp minor. So a minor third down, and then again a third down, this time a major third, to A major. And because we go down 2/3, it feels a bit like we're falling downstairs, so we're falling down somewhere. Now what you probably have not realized, when you start in C minor, in the circle of fifth, you're here on this side, and we have been now here in A major. So this is as far away from each other as you can go on the circle of fifth. And these simple patterns make it possible to modulate from one key into the other very seamlessly. During those kinds of sequences, it doesn't make sense to look at the key of the melody or the piece. You do not hear the relationship to a tonic. You hear the relationship of chords next to each other and of the pattern, not more. Nearly all music that you can find is basically just made out of these patterns. And most people are not aware of this. Quite similar to the first melody. We start in G minor and directly go to a major key, the relative major key, B flat major. Then we have again an ascending fifth sequence from B flat major to F major to C minor. Then to interrupt the pattern, we go from C minor to E flat major, and there comes a short cadence leading back to G minor. Here's something else I found interesting. Pay attention to the rhythm of the harmony changes. So how often and when does the harmony change? The whole melody is one big phrase. You could, and you probably would, subdivide it into shorter units of 2 bars each, maybe at the end 3 bars. In every first bar we have one key, and in every second bar we have 2 different keys. So every time we want to slow down the feeling of the tempo, every time we get to the end of a phrase of a subunit, we increase the speed of changing harmonies. Still, this is just one big phrase. But why is this so cool? First of all, that's already something you found in Baroque music, so if you wanted to end a phrase, you did just put a strong cadence. It's more obvious and direct, and it does slow the music down. It creates separation. The second reason, it helps us with phrasing. It's like tension and release when you play those 2 different keys in one bar. The first one's a bit more heavy, and the second one a bit lighter. To summarize the whole video, music is generally made out of these structural patterns like the ascending fifth sequence or the parallelism. What makes great music is how these patterns are combined with each other and how composers play with the expectation of the listener, setting up a pattern or breaking it purposely. If you like film music breakdowns and you haven't seen my Dune video yet, you should check it out right now. Thanks for watching, and we see each other on the next one.